know I gotta throw on that West Coast shit. You know I gotta throw on that West Coast shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, what up, Detroit? You shit on these 2 times, Dr. Dre? Oh, for sure. You shit on these 2 times, Dr. Dre? Like, low-key, I don't even know, like, these days, like, people be getting on my head about, like, you know, that I got the pass and shit, so I just try to watch the way I use it, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? A little jokey joke to break the ice. What's good, y'all? What's good, everybody? Let me adjust myself right, cause I ain't been on this shit in a minute, man. I got kids, bills, kids, and other shit. You know what I mean? The bills, yeah, but not the kids part. You know what I mean? Speaking of kids, bruh, how do you think I'll be like as a dad, bruh? Like, I don't know. I think I'll be like a chill dad, but I'll be like a tough love type dad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I was just like, I feel like it's because the way I was raised, and I don't want to say like, oh, the way I was raised was like a certain type of way, but just like a real judgmental type of way. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what I did, they just judged me. They just judged the fuck out of me. And then I had to like fucking mold around their fucking judgments and shit, and then just try to like do the best I could do, I guess, at a young age and shit or whatever. Because at a young age, like, yo, my brother would tell me all the time, like I'll be like, what, like fucking in the 2nd grade or 3rd grade and shit. He'll be like, oh, like it's common sense. And I'll be like, oh, like what's that? He'll be like, oh, it's common sense. Like, you know already, it's common sense. And I'll be like, what the fuck is common sense? What the fuck is he talking about? I'll be like, is this like a fucking like white folk saying and shit? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck is he on? But yeah, I don't even know. I'm not even finna get into fam. Not even finna get into the fam like that right now. Cause this is the No Signal podcast. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I know I've been away for like 2 weeks. They had to paint the room. I had to rearrange some shit around. I had to take the posters off. I had to put them back up. But they like, I wanted to put them up like all like scattered, like not scattered around, but just like, oh, I want this right here. I want this right here. It looks all like neat. It looks all like a fucking NPC room right now. It looks all like fucking like fixed. Not fixed, but just like, how do you say, what's the right word? Like, just like plain, like stereotypical, like just typical, I guess, or whatever. Cause like y'all seen the background in my other videos and shit, like had all these posters like close together, scattered around, some of them overlapping each other and shit like that or whatever. But now my fam was like, oh, like, where do you want this? Oh, and I want this right here. Oh no, it's not gonna look good right there. And I'm like, yo, like it's not your room. You ain't finna be in here, bruh. Like I want to like. They test my patience so bad. That's why, like, I brought up the whole, like, me being a dad and kids. Because the other day they told me, they're like, oh, I don't think you'll do good with kids. I don't think you'll be... They didn't say, like, I won't be a good dad. They just said, oh, I don't think you'll have the patience for kids. And I'll be like, yo, like, just because I don't have patience with you guys doesn't mean I won't have patience, you know, with my own son, daughter type shit. You know what I mean? And I told them, I was like, I don't have patience with you guys because you guys act brand new all the time. Goddamn, like, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I wanted all the posters, like, you know, oh, this right here, bada bing, bada boom, right here. And then they're like, oh no, it has to be separated out. It has to be like this. It has to be like that. And I'm like, all right, well, put that right there. Put the towel on the bottom. Put the Kobe right there. The D Rose over here. Shit like that. You know, how to tell them where to staple it and all that shit. And then I had to fix my computer desk because the fucking legs, they were all like fucking bent inward and shit. Every time I would move the desk, it would be like, you know, when it shifts like all weird and shit, like when the legs was all funky and shit. So I had to put in another wood plank and shit. Me and my pops did that shit real quick. But yeah, that's pretty much like a little recap of what happened this past week or last week. The reason why I didn't record and shit like that. Because, you know, they had to paint the room. I had to move the desk in the middle of the room, take this desk right here out. Obviously, the posters and everything and shit like that. But, I don't know. I feel like it's cool right now. Excuse me, y'all. Uh, Kathy. Excuse me, y'all. By the way, big news right now. Big news. The No Signal podcast has officially got a logo. I might put it in the intro or I might put it right here in the while I explain it and stuff like that, but it's in the intro. I'm gonna just leave it in the intro. Fuck it. It's a shout out to the homie Gil, man. The homie Gil for real. I'm gonna tag his Instagram so y'all could peep that, man, for real. So y'all could peep his little sketches he does, little artwork and stuff like that. He's been doing like I think he's been doing like little sketches and stuff like that ever since like high school and shit. Cause I went to high school with him and shit like that. And I always knew that. Well, he's like like more into soccer and shit like that, and me, I'm more into basketball. But we've always had that connection and shit. Just like fucking, he's passionate about his sport, and I'm like passionate about my sport and shit like that. But these days he might be passionate more in the artwork and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's why that's why I hit him up. I'll be like low key. I didn't even hit him up. He offered. I put out a tweet, and with that tweet, I shared it on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, anybody know any photoshoppers, graphic designers in general, that know how to, make logos and stuff like that for my podcast? Let me know." And then boom, he hopped on. He was like, "Oh, what you need?" And I was just like, "Oh, like I had some plan, like some thoughts and ideas in my head. I just wanted to, see if someone could execute them for me and shit like that." You know what I mean? So big shout out to Gil, man. Big shout out to Gil. Let me go into detail on the logo. It's pretty much like me. Pretty much me, exactly. Like a basketball with a bucket hat on them. You know what I mean? Like I wear bucket hats like when I go out and shit, but obviously when I do the podcast, I don't wear bucket hats because like I got this shit on. You know what I mean? Put that shit on. But but yeah, like the fucking it's a basketball with a bucket hat on it, and I told him I was like, "Oh, like make the arms and like legs and stuff like that." He made the arms and legs all skinny because you see me in person, I'm like I'm just like a skinny figure. You know what I mean? Like no matter how many times I work out and shit like that, I'm still like mad skinny. No matter how many times I eat like so much, I'm still mad skinny. And no matter how many times I do leg day, my legs are still mad skinny. So, big shout out to Gil. I appreciate that, bro. And obviously I told him I was like, "Oh, put a mic in his hand." He put a mic, little podcast headphones on and shit. Got the bucket, hell yeah. And then just like No Signal podcast, like the logo and shit. And I told him I was like, "Hey, try to like make the letters like it's cracking and shit like that." And then he did it, shit. So like just little details. Like I have some like sketches here. Right here is, I don't know if y'all can see, little funky sketches. But this is like a early process, not an early process, but just like early brainstorm ideas type shit like that. And yeah, we just kept going back and forth, like sharing pictures and videos and shit like that. Oh, like every little detail, the eyes, the mouth, the basketball. Obviously, he had like sent me some different type of basketballs, like at different angles and stuff like that. Just mad dope, bro. Just mad dope for real. But again, shout out to Gil, man. I can't thank you enough, for real. But yeah, let's get into the fuck shit for the episode, man. y'all ever talk different? Like, say y'all like different in like different friend groups and shit like that. Let me like, make a scenario right now for y'all real quick. Like the other day, whatever the fuck, when I got my tattoo and shit, my graduation Kanye one, the homie from the Jew League, the homie I met at the Jew League called me, and he was like, "Hey, blah blah, like, oh, like, you pulling up to the Jew or what? Oh, you been hooping?" And I was just like, shit, like, I didn't want to let him know that I'd been working on my shit, so I was just like, nah, like, nah, I haven't been hooping like that. He's like, "Oh man, you gotta hop on it, man. You gotta hop on it." And I was just like, "Oh shit." He's like, "Oh, you finna show up tomorrow to the Jew?" And I was like, yeah, shit. He's like, oh, shit. Like, let me know what time you're trying to leave so we could carpool together. Because he lives like 10 minutes away and shit, like just down the freeway type shit. And he was like, oh, so we could carpool together. And I was just like, nah, I'm finna stop at old girl crib. You know what I mean? I told him, I was like, nah, I'm finna stop at old girl crib type shit. And then he didn't get it. He was like, oh, you finna stop at some or whatever. He didn't understand. But I was just like, yeah, I'm finna stop at old girl crib. But this whole time I was like talking like this in front of my tattoo artist and shit. Like my tattoo artist, I was like, nah, shit, yeah, I'm finna do this, I'm finna do that. You know, talking like finna and shit, you know, saying finna a lot. It's not a word, but I still say it, yo. Like, I don't give a fuck. So I was like, whatever, like, yeah, I'm finna stop at my old girl crib, whatever. And then like I hung up on him and shit. I was like, oh, I'm finna get a tattoo right now, shit. Like, I'll hit you up after. He's like, oh, shit, don't cry. And then all this shit. But he was just fucking around. But when I talked to I hung up and I talked to my tattoo artist, I was just like, hey, you ever hear about the, you know, like, y'all ever talk different in, like, different friend groups and shit? I was just like, I straight, like, fucking flipped the script. Like, I was like, nah, bro, I ain't been working on my game, shit. Oh, nah, I'm finna stop at old girl crib. Shit, all right, later. Hey, did you hear about that one thing? Like, then I'm just like, my indentation, like my pronunciation just becomes like so like precise and shit, like just so on point. Like after like I hang up and shit. Y'all ever have those moments and shit? Y'all let me know in the comments, man, for real. Cause I stay having those moments and shit. Like I talk to my fam a certain way and shit. Like not even like my whole fam. Like I talk to my dad or some shit or my mom a certain way, and then my sister, I'm just like man, like man, shut up. I'm just like, man, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, I missed. Yo, I had to fucking put the soundproof, you know, the sound foam, the nah, I did that on purpose right there at the end. The soundproof shit. The little sound padding shit. Cause when I stepped in here, I was like, yo, it's mad like echoey in here. It's probably still echoey, but I just probably don't even like know or notice and shit. But either way, man, fucking let's get to the basketball segment a little bit. Let me see what other oh my gosh. Yeah, like let me talk about this certain thing, man. Let me talk about this certain moment that happened in my life and shit. Not in my life, but like recently and shit. So I was like kicking it with a girl, right? Y'all like every like my Snapchat folks, every time I start a story time, like, so I was talking to this one chick, right? Y'all know it's finna be a banger and shit. Y'all know it's finna be like a little like funny story time or a rant and shit like that. You know what I mean? And so I was talking to this one girl one time, and then like she like came through whatever, and then like she came through the crib, but from when she came over, we had left in my car to like go, you know, run an errand, you know, for me and shit, so she could like just tag along and stuff like that. But the whole like part of the time she was like talking about like my sister and shit. She's like, oh, like, cause she remembered me from my Snapchat days and shit. That's why I said my Snapchat folks, you already know, like, y'all know my sister, y'all know Jessica and shit like that, man, for real. Goddamn, excuse me, y'all. That's that fucking sandwich, bro. Is that sandwich? But like I said, man, like, y'all know me from my Snapchat days. Y'all know my sister from my Snapchat days. I used to like record her, fuck around and shit, like just annoy the fuck out of her and shit. Or we'll just like be on some funny shit and stuff like that. And it got to the point where like girls on my Snapchat would see Jessica out in public and they'll take a picture with her and they'll send it to me. And then I'll look at it and I'll be like, what the fuck? I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, you want my sister right now? I'll be like tripping this shit, bro. Like, but either way, like fucking fast forward, whatever, like we ended up coming back to the crib, and then she was like, oh, so am I going to meet Jessica? And I was just like, yeah, you can meet her. I told her, I was like, if you meet my sister, you finna meet my whole fam. Like, you know what I mean? You finna meet my whole like mom and dad and shit like that. And I don't even bring girls like around like that, bro. Like at all. I don't bring girls around like that. let alone like let them meet my fam and shit. Like my parents like off rip and shit, which is like mad crazy. But like this shit's confusing, yo. But bear with me and shit. So whatever, I introduced her to Jessica or whatever, and then I was like, oh, like she's been wanting to meet you, Jessica, and all this shit from my Snapchat days. And then she was like, oh yeah, like the famous Jessica. And then my sister was like, oh, like, oh hi, like awkward and shit. And then whatever, fast forward, we come upstairs, we're chilling in here in my game room and shit. And the homie sends me a reel, Instagram reel of fucking, you know what I mean? One of those little videos and shit. And it's an Andrew Tate clip. Bear with me with this. This is where it gets interesting. And this is where it gets like real, like weird and shit. So he sends me this Andrew Tate clip, and the clip says like, oh, he's talking about like, you know, the LGBTQ or, you know, gay people and shit like that. He's like, oh, gay people, I don't mind people being gay, but when you have shows and you have people waving their dicks in front of kids' faces, whoa, that's where I draw the line. That's what he said in the clip. He's like, oh, that's where I draw the line. And then like she heard it, and then she was like, is that Andrew Tate? And I was just like, yeah. And then she's like, you like him? And I was just like, well, like he like he has some points sometimes. Like I agree with him on certain things, like like the whole like self what is it, like what's the word I'm looking for, like the self-improvement. Yeah, the self-improvement, like the masculinity, that type shit, you know what I mean? Like I agree with shit like that, but when he says other shit about like women and all women are supposed to do this and do that for me, and like I don't agree with that, because everybody's situation is different and shit like that, you know what I mean? So just clear that out the way, clear that out the room. But she was like, oh, like you like him? And I was like, oh yeah, like he does, like, you know, he says some facts sometimes, you know, on certain things. But like I said, I agree with him more on the self-improvement shit. And then she looked at me like so weird. She was like, and like I don't know if she was fucking around or if she was like mad, like serious about being mad about this shit. She was like, like I don't know about that and all this shit. And I was just like, oh, like she switched up like so fucking fast. I never seen nobody switch up this fast. Like it was like so fucking weird. And like like fucking like I was just like, oh, like are you serious right now? Like you really gonna act like that? And she was like, oh, well, you said you like him and all this shit. And I was just like, wow, like I told you I only like agree with him on the self-improvement shit, like not any of the other shit. And then she was just like, all right then, all right, like just be mad weird. And I was just like in my head I was like, what the fuck went on? Like you really that mad that the homie sent me a reel and I just watched it in front of you, and that like switched up your whole mood? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, this is mad weird, yo. Like like, yo, this is why like I stay to myself, and like these days I'm just like straight like on my grind. Like I'm fucking like I'm just like working, like, you know, like fucking just working at work and working on myself. Like that's the main two shits that I be on and shit. Like that fucking like scenario, that like what that happened right there, that shit just like it was a sign to let me know, like, hey bro, you gotta leave the girls alone, bro. Like you gotta leave these bitches alone, bro. Like straight up, you gotta leave these bitches alone. Like like it's really getting to the point where I'm just like, yo, like it's not me no more. Like I know it's not me, because what the fuck did I do? I just opened the reel and then I just watched the video the homie sent me, and then she just got mad triggered. So I know it's not me. So like I don't know what's up with Andrew Tate people. If y'all going through the same shit, the Andrew Tate haters, y'all, like what y'all like do? I'm not even gonna get into that. Just saying Andrew Tate is not for everybody. Andrew Tate is like, I don't know, like I guess he just triggers people, or what the fuck? Like what the fuck just happened? And I don't even know. That shit just like got me like tripping for a good like couple days. I was like, yo, what the fuck happened? Like, was it my fault? And I was like, no, I didn't do shit. I was just fucking like tripping, bro. But I don't even know. Like, this is why I stay to myself. Like, shit. like money is all I need right now. Like I don't give a fuck about anybody right now. I don't need any chick, any dude right now, any motherfucker right now. All I just need is my fam and money. Honestly, that's all you need. Just two things: fam and money, and God. Yo, is it wrong to put family first if before God? Cause you know the saying all family first, but it's like, yo, like you gotta wake up and like thank God first. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I don't know, that's another motherfucking story. You know what I mean? I'm getting some random shit. But yeah, let's move into the fucking basketball segment of the show. The whole Britney Spears Wembenyama incident, that shit was like mad weird. I thought it was fake at first because no video surfaced until like a couple days after I said it on the podcast, I believe. And then the video surfaced and I was like, oh shit. And then the security, like you could see him fucking throw his arm back there. Then he hit Britney and then the dude's like, hey, that's Britney Spears. Hey, that's Britney Spears. Hey, fucking hit Britney Spears. That shit. Fucking, yeah, like, and Britney Spears went on her Twitter or Instagram or whatever the fuck, and she put a video like talking about like, oh, that something, I deserve a public apology from Wembenyama and all this shit, or the security team, or some shit like that. Like, yo, first of all, you could have gotten an apology from the security team right then and there. All you just had to do was follow them. Like, Britney Spears and like Wemby is like, what? Like Britney Spears been would you call Britney Spears a A-list? Like, be honest. Would you call Britney Spears a A-list celeb? Like, she's been out of the game for a long ass time, so I don't even know. She might have like bunked down in the rankings or some shit. She's like a fucking C-lister by now. I don't even know. But honestly, like, I don't even know. Like, obviously, like, they could have followed Wemby and all that shit because he's not going to stop. His security is not going to stop or turn around. If Wemby stops, then a whole crowd, like he said, a whole crowd is going to fucking rush him, want autographs, want pictures and all this shit. And I don't blame Wemby coming out after the Britney Spears incident saying, oh, I'm going to take a break from media for a very long time. Like, bro, I don't blame you, bro. Just go straight Tim Duncan mode. No one knows where the fuck Tim Duncan is, honestly. Like, for all we know, Tim Duncan can be like traveling the world. Fucking, he could be at like just chilling in San Antonio at his crib or some shit like that. Just over there. Where did he come from? Like the Virgin Islands or some shit, or like the Bahamas or some shit like that. Something like that. Where did fucking Tim Duncan come from, honestly? I think it was like the Virgin Islands or some shit like that. I don't even know. That shit got me bugging now. I'm finna look this shit up. Where is Tim Duncan from? Yeah, Virgin Islands. I got it right. I knew my shit. But yeah, like I said, man, like Britney Spears, like she could have, her and her security team could have followed them and then talked it out right there, instead of Britney coming out on fucking social media saying all this shit like, oh, I deserve a public apology, a social apology or some shit like that. Like, fuck, they gotta go on social media to apologize to you for. Like, fuck does Wemby gotta apologize to you for? He's not the one that slapped you. Like, fuck is he gotta be sorry for? Like, I don't even know. Like, Britney Spears, she's just like mad weird. Have you seen her Twitter, y'all? Like, there's a video and she's getting like a whole like golden shower type shit or something like that. Like, it's gotta be a golden shower because there's no way like water comes out the shower yellow like that. And especially like in one stream. I don't know if y'all seen the same video, but yo, that shit is just like mad fucking weird. Excuse me, y'all. Goddamn. Oh, goddamn. But yeah, quick news. Low key, I bought a PS5. The reason for that is because 2K24 is coming out, and I kind of wanted to play it on the next gen. And plus, like, since the PS5 hype died down, I feel like it was the right time to actually like swoop up on that and shit, and actually like get back into the console. Like, you know, not the console. Obviously, like I got PC and shit like that, but like if I get 2K24 for PC, it's not gonna be the same as like, you know, the next gen and shit like that. It's all different animations and shit like that. Like 2K23's like, animations on PC is not the same for the next gen. And I found that out, like, when was it? Like, I think it was 2K22 or some shit like that. I think that was the last one I played before, yeah, like, I'm just gonna wait until 2K24 drops so I could spend all my money on VC. Like, I don't give a fuck, honestly, anymore. Just take my VC. Just take my VC. Low key, y'all, let's get into the basketball segment for real. So, Wemby, Summer League recap. The first game, obviously, so much hype around it, sold out. All the celebs came out. J. Cole to like fucking Jerry West, Kareem, fucking who else? Fucking like just random ass people like Lonzo. I don't even know if Lonzo was there, but I know Lonzo was in Vegas. That's for sure. But who else? Like, just the Spurs players and shit. The Spurs players, the Charlotte players, because they played Charlotte. So like, you know, some of the current roster players on Charlotte, they're gonna, you know, show up for their team and shit like that. And Brandon Miller's gonna be good. Honestly, I feel like he's gonna be like because he said Paul George is his GOAT. So I feel like he's gonna be like Paul George-ish type of build, but just taller. He's gonna be like I don't even know. The closest comparison I got to him will probably be like a Danny Granger type shit. If I'm not mistaken, or if I'm like completely way off. Cause you look at Danny Granger was tall, fucking built. Brandon Miller is tall and he can get built. You know, he just got to put in that work in the weight room and shit like that to get that muscle. But at the same time, there's not really any other, like, you know, what does he play? Small forward, like tall, small forward, quick, a tall, quick, small forward. Like Kawhi, he's not that quick. Kawhi is just like fucking bulldozing, man. He just fucking bulldozes his way in there. He just uses his fucking strength. Kawhi got that 99 strength on a motherfucker. For real. But like I said, Brandon Miller, I think he's like, I don't know, like the closest thing I see to him is like a Danny Granger. Or who else can be compared to a Brandon Miller, bruh? Y'all let me know. I'm just saying, like, he's probably like a more like taller Paul George and shit. That's like the best comparison I could probably give him. That and or a Danny Granger. But Wemby, let's get to Wemby. The first game, he underachieved, but he did make his presence known on the defensive end. Only scoring 9 points, grabbing 8 rebounds, but blocking 5 shots. Shot terrible. 2 for 13 from the field. Second game was more like it. Second game is more like my prediction that I predicted in the last episode. I believe it was the last episode or the episode before that when I was, you know, talking about Wemby and stuff like that. The second game, he showed out. 27 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. Good shit, Wemby. Also, Imani Bates. I want to talk about Imani Bates. And I put right here, Cleveland Savior. I put Cleveland Savior because, like, we never seen, like, a player like Imani Bates in the Summer League. You know, like, because think about it. If it wasn't for Wemby, Imani Bates will probably be, like, his attention and hype would be, like, more up there. You know what I mean? But ever since Wemby and all these other players, Wemby, Brandon Miller, who else? Scoot. You know what I mean? That just like Imani, that like his what is it? Not notification, but notice. His recognition. Yeah, his recognition is just like, you know, it's gone down a little bit. But we still see him. We still see the work he's putting in and shit. Cause, you know, didn't he have like a 30-point game or like a solid like 20-something game in the Summer League and shit? Like, he was just pulling that bitch from 3, like just like lacing that bit. But Yeah, like I don't even know. I have high hopes for Imani Bates. I put he might be Cleveland's savior because, a player like him, you know, he's not short. He's not short at all. He can compete with the shooting guards in the league. Don't get it twisted. He's just got to get that weight up. He's just got to get, you know, he's already got the shot. The shot is like down packed. He's just got to get the weight in. You know what I mean? He's just got to get that strength to hold his own in the post when, players back him down. Also to, drive in, put that shoulder into someone and shit like that. You know what I mean? So Imani Bates, I have high hopes for him. I have high expectations. Hopefully he can stay healthy, and hopefully Cleveland uses him right. By using him right, I mean like, giving him actual playing time and giving him minutes and shit. Like give him about like 10 to 15 a game type shit. You know what I mean? Like don't give him like 5 minutes. Oh, he missed his first 2 shots and he turned the ball over. Oh, just set him down the rest of the game. Like, no, that's what makes players like so limited and shit. That's why like players like Kobe, you know what I mean? Players like Kobe were so limited his rookie season and shit like that. From what's that guy's name? Like, it's not Dale Harris, is it? It's not Dale Harris. I think it's Oh yeah, it is Dale Harris. I was about to look that bitch up. I was like confusing with like Don Nelson or some shit like that. Dale Harris. He didn't play Kobe that much because he didn't want like, the guys to get jealous or some shit, or he didn't want the rookie to mess up the plays, or just, I don't even know what the fuck his thought process was with, Kobe being on the bench most of his fucking rookie and sophomore season and shit. But either way, like, coaches got to do better of, using their players right. Like you see Westbrook, they didn't know how to use him right on the Lakers, and he went to the Clippers, and then boom, like he actually like put the team on his back for one of the games in the playoffs. But the other games, like the team just couldn't, follow his lead and shit like that. Because Westbrook, he brings that energy, man. He brings that energy, and players like Imani, they I wouldn't say like, oh, they killers, man, but they could shoot that bitch, man. They could shoot that bitch. They got IQ. They know how to, dribble and shit like that. So yeah, man, like Imani, I have high hopes for him on the Cavs for real. Hopefully he stays healthy. And this news coming out, Harden wants to come to LA. Perhaps a reunion with Russ again. Russell Westbrook and shit like that. Honestly, I feel like Harden doesn't know what he wants, bro. I feel like Harden should have stayed in Houston. Honestly, like, oh, you get traded from OKC to Houston. Oh, Houston actually like shows you love, and you show out for them and actually put in the work, putting up numbers and shit like that. Putting the city on your back. You had a whole city behind your back, bro. You had a whole city on your back. Just constant playoff trips. From what, like 2014, 2015 to like when he left, or when it was like the dog years and shit, like 2020. Nah, they made the playoffs 2020. What am I talking about? 2021. I think that's when he started like, getting bounced around from Brooklyn and obviously Philly and shit. So from that time, like 2015 to like 2021, like those were like solid. Or 2020. Those are solid years, solid winning years. You know what I mean? It was just it's just that one thing, man. That one injury, that one hamstring Chris Paul injury. Just one. It all comes down to just one. Like that one Chris Paul injury. It happened like twice or some shit. It didn't even happen twice. I think it happened one time, but the second time, like the team just couldn't click. They gave up a whole 3-2 lead. They gave up 2 games. Like back to back. And when you do that, then that's when it wasn't your series. When you give up back to back games and you're on the bridge of closing it out. You're on the borderline of closing it out. You know what I mean? But as far as James Harden and Russ, they were a good combo. They were a good combo for real. They just needed big man around them. They just needed defense around them. Especially with the D'Antoni coaching and shit. Double the offense. No, just play limited defense, a certain amount of defense or whatever. But at the same time, like this is the meaning of defense wins championships. You can't really double the offense because like you need to have that second player. Like James Harden can't really put in all the work by himself. I'm just thinking about it right now. They had the best squad right there. They had Chris Paul, Harden, Trevor Ariza, PJ Tucker, Clint Capella. And like coming off the bench was like Eric Gordon, fucking who else? Like, fuck, man, that was a fucking squad right there, man. That's like that. I feel like that's one of the squads that actually should have won a chip, but they just never got over that hump and shit, man. Like, fuck. But as far as the Harden and Westbrook reunion in L.A., it's not making no noise. I don't give a shit. I don't give two shits about that shit, honestly. And anyways, they're going to have to trade either Paul George or Kawhi. You know what I mean? Well, obviously, I'm sure they have the money to, send to Philadelphia for Harden and, some picks and assets or whatever and shit like that. But it's like, yo, you guys have too much egos on the team. You got Westbrook, you got Harden, you got PG, and you got Kawhi, the fucking quiet one. You know what I mean? Who's going to say like a certain amount of things. He's only going to talk whenever he, when he wants to and shit like that. He's not really going to communicate, or that we've seen, he's not really going to communicate like basketball like that. Like, you know what I mean? Especially like this past playoff series really like made me mad sus about Kawhi and like his future in the NBA and shit. Okay, you play one game and you're completely fine. You score 20 plus, whatever the fuck, how many points you scored. The next game, you sit out. The third game, whatever, you play again. The fourth game, you sit out. Supposedly you tore your ACL, MCL, or it's like aggravating or some shit, or it's like what is it? Not a meniscus tear. It's like what is the fucking, what's the word? What the fuck is the word I'm looking for, man? Fuck it. That shit's like, it's pissing me off that I can't find the word. But whatever, just aggravated like one of your knees and shit, and then you sit out the rest of the series. Like, yo, what the fuck? You was just fine like yesterday. You know what I mean? That shit's just like mad weird. That's why I always like question like Kawhi and shit. Like, yo, like what does he even do? He's pretty much finessing the whole Clippers organization for money and shit. He's been with the team for like what? Like ever since 2020. It's already 2023, and like he probably hasn't even played like, what is it, like three, like he hasn't even played like a whole like 2 seasons worth of games in my eyes that I've seen. I feel like obviously he's played 81 plus with the Clippers, but he hasn't played like, more than that. Like, I don't think Kawhi has played more than 130 games or 150 games, with the Clippers ever since he's been with the team. He's missed so much games. It's just like, I don't even remember the last, highlight I've seen of Kawhi and shit. I don't even know, but Clippers aren't even my team. So fuck y'all. Nah, just kidding. Yo, the fucking Clippers called me the other day when I was at work. I ain't even bullshitting you, yo, but it's like the G League team, the Ontario Clippers. They're like, because I went to one of their G League games, but it was like, like the South Bay Lakers and the the Clippers G League team. So I went over there and I watched. And obviously I signed in my email to get the tickets and all this shit, but they also like called me like, we're selling tickets for this. We're doing this for this. Would you be interested in blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, and I told the dude, I was like, I'm a Laker fan. And then he just like he just shut up. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to do about that. Like, not unless you got some Lakers tickets, you know what I mean? But another basketball topic right here before I end the show, Jordan Poole and Draymond Green. Jordan Poole's dad went online. Jordan Poole's dad went on Twitter to express his frustration with Draymond and shit like that. Let me find the quote. He said, I'ma stand on this. That is some bullshit. BS. That is some bullshit. Jordan Poole was his guy, and he avoided me all last year. He's a soft ass bitch. Damn. And I'm standing on that. He didn't apologize to me and my wife, so he lame, and me and him can meet anytime he want. Damn. But honestly, like, I seen a clip. Draymond Green did apologize. If, you know, the dad wants an apology, he could go back and, you know, see the conference. It was it was in the conference room of the Warriors, you know, arena, the Chase Center or something like that. And it was like a week or two after the video had got leaked and shit. And Matt Barnes, like, let me detail real quick. Matt Barnes came out with the video. He said something that's so true. Like, whoever leaked the video should be fired. Whoever it is, whoever employee it is, should be fired. But also, if that video wasn't leaked and it was just straight, you know, talk, like, oh yeah, we seen it, like, oh, Draymond hit Jordan Poole, it wouldn't have got to this point. Especially, like, it's been a whole year already, or almost a whole year, because this happened in training camp. It's been nearly a whole year, and they're still talking about it. And it pisses me off even more because I feel bad for Jordan Poole. Not because he got punched and, like, you know, got knocked out and shit, but because, like, now that he's with the Wizards and shit, not even because he looks sad in the pictures or anything. Like, I'm happy for him. Like, this is a fresh new start. He's got a new team, new teammates. Him and Kuz, light skin duo. I feel like that's gonna do good, along with that. What's that fool's name? That tall fool that got crossed up by KD, Gafford or some shit like that. Or I wouldn't say Garfield. It looks like it's pronounced Garfield, but it's like Gafford. Matthew Gafford. What the fuck is his name? I feel like they're all gonna do good. Yeah, his name is Daniel Gafford. Yeah, Daniel Gafford. You know, I feel like that's a whole, like, light skinned trio. I feel like that trio is actually gonna make some noise. Maybe play-in team, we'll see. But hopefully they could do something, you know, over there in Washington with Jordan Poole and Kuzma and them and company. But as far as the Jordan Poole incident and shit like that, I feel bad for him because, like, the reporters, like, even in Washington, they're like, oh, have you talked to Draymond? And he's just like, now he's just looking at the reporter like, bitch, you really gonna fucking ask that shit right now? Like, what the fuck wrong with you? Like, I'm not even on the team anymore. Like, fuck is you asking me about the player from the other team and shit? Like, that shit is just mad weird. That's how media is and shit. Like, they just get mad weird. They just bring up the most random, like, nonsense shit. You know what I mean? But either way, like, I don't even know what the fuck going on and shit. But yeah, like, the dad, if you want an apology, you could go back on the video, on the press conference video from last year, and there you go. There's your apology. But as far as Draymond, man. Draymond, man, you a wild motherfucker for that shit. You crazy motherfucker for that shit. Fucking, yo, he knocked his ass out. Especially, like, obviously you seen the video, Jordan Poole pushed him back, and then when Draymond got pushed back, he leaned forward. But as he's leaning forward, he fucking kicks off like a fucking Superman punch, bruh. Like, which is fucking mad crazy. Like a Superman punch, literally. That shit is like, fucking knocked his head off. Fucking knock his head off. But, oh man. But yeah, as far as Jordan Poole, I hope he does good out there. Draymond Green, you got a new teammate in Chris Paul. Obviously, you've been on record saying that you don't really like Chris Paul, but at the same time, you know, y'all teammates, y'all got to put y'all differences aside, and y'all just aiming at one goal, winning the championship. If Steph Curry wins Chris Paul a championship, that's gonna be like that fucking Kobe and Ron Artest moment and shit. You know what I mean? When in 2009, when Artest was with the Rockets and shit like that, and he was like getting in Kobe's face like during the playoffs and the regular season and shit like that, like just trying to get under his skin. And Ron Artest ended up signing with the Lakers, that following season in 2010, and we won that chip. And then I don't know if y'all seen that clip, but it's like Kobe, like right there with Ron Artest. He's like, I told you you was gonna get it. I told you you was gonna get it. And then he's like, he got me a ring and the team. And I was just like, yo, like that shit's fucking crazy. Fucking Kobe, man. I miss you, Kobe. Honestly, I seen a video the other day. Some girl was like, Kobe, can I get a picture with you? And he's like, selfie it up, sweetheart. Selfie it up. And I was just like, Kobe, man, fucking Bean. Just a good spirit, man. Just a good spirit for real. Fuck. Like, don't even get me started with that shit. I'm finna end this episode off right here, y'all. For real, because I was about to start tearing up. Where's the tissue on some real shit? But that's about it. God damn, let me fucking drink some water. I'm parched on a bitch. I'm fucking parched. And it just like reminds me more because like the posters in the back, the Kobe posters in the back, the Kobe posters right here. And I also got like more right here on this wall, like behind the camera type shit. So it's just like, damn, like mama mentality, man, for real. Like I said, man, I feel like we can wrap it up here. Appreciate y'all for checking in. I know it's been like 2 weeks since I uploaded, but I promise y'all, man, like y'all gonna get this content. Y'all gonna get this content for real. Be sure to follow me on my socials as always. Instagram, Twitter, NoSignalMando. TikTok, Uncle Mando 7. Spotify, No Signal Podcast. Podcast IG, No Signal Pod, where all my clips are at right there. And my stream, which is kick.com/BeanMando. But yeah, man, we can end it off right here. Real quick question for y'all. Real quick question before I get off this shit. Please put your answer in the comments. What's y'all favorite West Coast classic? What's y'all favorite West Coast classic and shit? You know what I mean? Because there's more than a handful of West Coast classics and shit. You got Still Dre, you got None But a G Thing, you got Explosive. You know what I mean? Explosive West Coast shit. You know what I mean? You got some of the games bangers. You know what I mean? West Side Story, Crip Niggas, Blood Niggas, Put You on the Game. You know what I mean? But Snoop Dogg, you know Who I Am. What is that? Is Who I Am, or that's the Eminem song? Oh, What's My Name? That's the one I was talking about. Yeah, What's My Name? You know, but just let me know y'all favorite West Coast classic in the comment section for real. But peace and love, y'all. Until next time, take care. Love yourself before you love anyone else. Peace.